Yes, yes, people! Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Hope you're all having a class start to 2025. Let's hope Newcastle have a class January transfer window. And as always in this video, throughout January, nearly daily uploads will be delivered to yourselves. Well, hopefully there will be daily if there is transfer topics to talk about. And today, there thankfully is. We're only the 2nd of January and the rumours are flying in for the Mags. Who's Eddie Howe signing? Who's Eddie Howe sending out? Let's get straight into it then. As you can see in the title, recent breaking news in the past hour or so is that the Toon are targeting Tyler Diblin, the young Southampton star who only made his debut in the Premier League this season against Newcastle on the opening day, has had a flying start to life in the big league. He's getting all the attention. Southampton are terrible, but he's getting all the attention at the Saints. Everyone's looking at him saying, wow, let's have a slice of that. If he's going down, if he's getting relegated, he's the first one. Probably the only one on everyone's lists. Adam Armstrong back to Toon? Nah, not that desperate. But, you know, big them up. And big up Tyler Diblin, who is having a fantastic season so far in the red and white. Swap that dirty old shine for the black and white. Why don't you? I would love to sign Diblin. Now, there is part of us where it's like, Diblin, yes, he's very good. He's had a very good start this season in the Prem at Southampton. Is struggling Southampton as well. So to look at that team is a very, very good sign. But he's one for the future, isn't he? Again. But then again, that ticks all the Newcastle United boxes. It's a Lewis Hall 2.0. Do you know what I mean? He's flying at the Saints. He really is. But if he came to the Magpies, could he hit the ground running? Well, I mean, probably. Like I said, you know, he's doing a job already at Southampton at a poor side. But week in, week out in Newcastle, bigger expectations, bigger club, no disrespect to Southampton. Like Southampton, lived there for a year. Did me masters there. Went to a few of their games. A few mates down there. Enjoyed myself. But would he be able to hit those heights week in, week out in the Toon? That's another option. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones where it does. I want an Mbumo. You know me. You know, I've been screaming for Mbumo for so long now. I want someone like that who can come in, has that belief, has that confidence, has the quality and the skill now. Because Diblin's very young. Listen, he's very, very young. But he's been targeted for Newcastle for quite some time, to be fair. So he's getting all the attention this season, Diblin. You know, Liverpool are meant to be really after him. They see him as a Mo Salah replacement. Newcastle are very much eyeing up a move for him probably next summer. So it's not one for January, this one. He's unlikely to leave Southampton this January. But in the summer, we could go and get him, like many other teams are eyeing him up. Apparently, he's going to stay at the Saints this season, even though they're doomed for relegation. He's going to stay there. But as I read here, in the summer of 2022, Newcastle actually met with Diblin. Diblin met with club staff on a visit to Tyneside. He had earlier caught the eye of Eddie Howe and the recruitment team after scoring a hat-trick for Southampton under 23s at St James Park when he was just 16 years old. And I was actually at that game, so I remember it well, and I was thinking, bloody hell, he's a good player. The vlog's probably on the channel somewhere from a couple of years ago. But he was 16 at the time and bagged himself a hat-trick. However, Dan Ashraf, rat, was tasked with leading the chase, but Diblin eventually signed for Chelsea. But after only a couple of months in London, he failed to settle, and then he went to Southampton. So you always hear this thing in the media, don't you? Oh, we love London, we love down south. Why would anyone go to Newcastle, you know, in the middle of nowhere? No. Didn't work out for Diblin in London, so he went a little bit further south, to be fair, to Southampton. But get him back up north where he scores hat-tricks and get him to the Toon. But sources, according to the Mail, have confirmed this week that the Mags retain a strong interest, and this is a pivotal link here, people. New sporting director Paul Mitchell has got obviously very strong links to Southampton after he worked wonders down there, signing the likes of Marnie to Southampton. So he made some quality signings there, Mitchell. That's why he was highly thought of, and that's why we were buzzing when we signed him. But right now he's got links to Southampton still. He's obviously got great contacts there. So we are getting first dibs on Diblin. Yeah, didn't take long to knock that one up, did it? And yeah, we're keeping a strong interest in his situation, in his future, with what's going to happen with him at Southampton. We know Diblin is a quality right winger, but he can also play as a midfielder and out wide. And despite Southampton's struggles, he has impressed during 12 league starts this season. Only 2 goals. You know, the 18-year-old's overall game has been impressing everybody that has been watching the Premier League this season. And the 18-year-old's contract does expire in 2026. However, the club do have an option to extend by 12 months, but talks over a new deal have taken place without a breakthrough. And remember, he is an England under-21 professional as well. He's expected to remain on the South Coast, as I said earlier, but come the summer, Newcastle would be in a strong position to compete for his signature, but also Liverpool seem to be very strong favourites at the minute. But he's taking them boxes in you, everyone. The brackets are your Tinos, your Lewis Halls, your Gordons, those young English players that we can develop and build up on. So Tyler Diblin linked this afternoon to Newcastle. However, for January, that's looking unlikely. There's another, guess what? Young England international who Newcastle have been linked with, and this time it is Man City's James McAtee. Again, this will be another class signing because he is a real talent. But you know what Man City like to do? Sell on the young English talents, your Cole Palmers and that, and then they just sign someone else, and then they might bring them back or replace them with loads of money. It doesn't matter. But that's the way they work a lot of the time. But like Diblin, he can play as a winger and fits the profile that Newcastle and Howe have targeted in recent seasons. So it's again the same sort of thing. But Diblin and McAtee are players that will likely leave their current clubs. And even though, McAtee's had a quality outfit in Man City, not so much in recent months, but you know what Man City are all about, winning everything, trebles in recent times and that. So he's struggling for game time. He did play the other week and got a great assist for, or was it the assist for Savinho? He did impress anyways in that last game that I watched against Leicester. The 22-year-old, so he's not quite, a teenager now. He's 22, so he's going to be looking for first team action, looking to kick on his club career and international for England also, and he's got a price tag of 25 million. So Man City are willing to listen. Man City are saying, listen, you want him? 25 million, you can have him. It's attracting a lot of interest from not just his native England, but also abroad as well. And that's going to be this month that McAtee is expected to move, since he's been limited to just 3 substitute appearances in the Premier League this term. For now, Newcastle's focus is still on outgoings, and sources continue to insist that major incomings could be unlikely in January. This is all according to the Mail, by the way, so we don't want to hear that. Where McAtee to stay at City, it is interest that could be followed up in the summer. So is it one again where you look towards the future with Diblin, with McAtee? McAtee more so than Diblin likely to move in the winter window, which, as we all know, is apparently very hard to work in. Another player that has been linked with Newcastle once again today, which was linked every bloody day during the summer, was James Trafford, the Burnley shot stopper. Again, you guessed it, young English player, Brexit FC, this, isn't it? Is linked to the Toon once more. So he was very heavily linked in the summer. Newcastle didn't end up making the move, as Burnley were driving up to £30 million for him. However, the Toon are still interested in signing him this winter window. Again, this is another one where it could be during the summer. It would be more likely, like any deal is, realistically. However, with Newcastle apparently letting Martin Dubravka go, if you believe the Saudi reports, because today, yet again, it's coming out that representatives have been meeting with Saudi clubs, in particular Al-Shabaab, in personal terms, have been agreed. So if it wasn't for Pope's injury, and it wasn't for Dubravka coming in and keeping 4 clean sheets in 4 Premier League games, he'd be out the door now. He would be out the door, he'd be gone. But because he's stepped up to be number 1 in recent weeks, and he's done a good job, but I did see this stat that might be on your screen there now if I can find it, where he's had hardly any saves to make. So, he hasn't been a busy goalkeeper. I think it's the least of any Premier League goalkeeper in the last month or something mad like that. But listen, he's keeping clean sheets. He's only had a couple of shots to make, I think it is, inside the area. A couple of saves to make sure I save from shots inside the penalty box. But he's doing his job. He's doing what's in front of him. He's stepping up. However, he is meant to be still going to Saudi Arabia. Newcastle are waiting until the end of the window to sign that deal off. They want Nick Pope to come back fit and healthy to then let Dubravka go, or get this James Trafford deal over the line. Now, with Burnley mid-season in the Championship, that's going to prove tricky again, probably to get this one done during the winter window, unless you put the money down that they're asking for. Now, will Newcastle do that? Will they think, right, Dubravka's going, Pope's struggling with injury. He's been struggling with injury for a while. Even since he's came back, he hasn't quite looked like the same player for me. Nick Pope, we know his distribution's not very good, but his shot stopping has always been excellent. However, since that injury, the shoulder one in particular, he looks like he doesn't want to dive to that side a lot of the time, and it's frustrating, and it's obviously worrying him. So will Newcastle now look to the future once more and sign another young English player, this time in goal? I mean, I like Trafford, but I'm not huge in favour for it. For me, a goalkeeper, Trafford should be brought in as a number 2 who can learn off a number 1. And it's a bit too far in the future for me, that one. He played in the Premier League last season with Burnley, didn't do very well, and that's hard to say because it's Burnley and they were awful. But you trust that, the coaches get the best out of him, you'll grow, no doubt you'll be a top keeper and you'll be amongst the England ranks for a very long time. However, just right now, is that move too soon, or is it too much on his young shoulders to be wearing the number 1 jersey at Newcastle? Big expectations and stuff, so it'd be a big test for him. Now then, will Miguel Almiron be leaving in this January window? Well, I did a video the other day where we did receive an official bid from a Brazilian team. However, it's understood that Almiron would prefer to return to the MLS, where he spent 3 years with Atlanta United, or he would rather stay at Newcastle. Apparently he's in no rush to move, he's not asking to leave, and he's fine with staying at the club even though he's made, how many appearances was it this season? I've got it wrote down here. Almiron's obviously been well out of favour, and he's only made one league start this season. Charlotte do retain the strongest interest. That's the best chance for the Toon to get him off the books this window, but what will Charlotte bid? They haven't got loads of money. There isn't loads of money circulating in the MLS, unless you're in Miami. And it's believed that, we're only going to ask for around £5 million for Almiron. That's how desperate we are to get the Paraguayan winger off the books. But with Almiron, the stumbling block is the financial expectation of himself and his agent. Greedy. And to be fair, it is. I was going to hammer him and say, get out, you know what I mean? Like, you've had your time here, you've had some great moments, you've had some bad moments. Fair enough, you've always given your all, mint, go with blessings, please move on so we can get another right winger in. However, you know what I mean? He's on a contract. We gave him that contract, we're giving him 60 grand a week. He's sitting there thinking, I'm lost. I'll sit on the bench 60 grand a week. Sweet. I don't mind the snow in Newcastle, -2. I don't want to go to Brazil. Miles away. Settled now. Kids are here, wife's here. Gushy. You know what I mean? If someone comes in, or I'm going back to the sunny states, well, I'll just settle this contract out here in the Toon. And players have every right to do that, to be fair, because it's their job at the end of the day, and he may just think, well, if I've got anything better to do, bollocks. Hopefully that's not the case, and he does get it sold this window. Just wrap up on some other news. Sven Botman's declared himself fit for Tottenham at lunchtime this Saturday, so that's great news. Whereas Trippier is also fine after coming off at Old Trafford the other night. I mean, he did look fine. He came back on and wanted to stay on, but Howe brought him off. Tino came on for him. We know Shaw suspended for the trip to White Hart Lane on Saturday, but it's likely that Lloyd Kelly will step up to replace him. Kelly and Byrne at the back for that one, so let's hope he can do a job when he comes in. Lloyd Kelly signed this summer on a free, hasn't really featured. Looked good against Chelsea in the Cup, other games hasn't looked very good at all, so a bit of a point to prove there for Lloyd Kelly, hopefully. It's great that Botman's back and he can come off the bench, hopefully get some game time and build himself up ahead of a busy January. Hopefully it's a busy window, busy for games. Arsenal next week, you got Bromley coming up in the FA Cup as well. Loads of important matches for the Toon. There's the transfer news today for you lot, everyone. Let me know what you think. Any names mentioned, should we sign? Should we go for someone else? Do you think Almiron will leave this window? Please do smash a like on this one if you've enjoyed it. Please do subscribe to the McAtee Channel TV if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.